The Prophet, peace be upon him, would then recite another chapter from the Quran. Chapter 112, The Purity.
Surah Al-Ikhlas. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Say, O Muhammad, He is Allah, the One, Allah, the Self-Sufficient. He does not produce a child, and He was not born of anyone, and there is no one equal to Him. Manner of recitation. The Prophet, peace be upon him, would recite the Quran in slow, measured, rhythmic tones as Allah had instructed him, not racing or hurrying, but rather in his recitation he would clearly distinguish each letter. He would also pause at the end of each verse. The Ruku, bowing. After completing his recitation, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would pause for a moment, then raise his hands, saying the takbir, as it was done at the beginning of the prayer, and then bow.
Allahu Akbar.
Meaning, Allah is the greatest. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, bowed in prayer, he kept his back level, such that if water was poured on it, the water would not run off. The Prophet, peace be upon him, would not let his head hang down, nor would he raise it. The Prophet, peace be upon him, would place his hands firmly on his knees, as though he were grasping them, with his fingers spaced out. Supplication in the bowing position. In the bowing position, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would say 3 times,
Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim.
Meaning, how perfect is my Lord, the Supreme. Straightening up from the bowing position. Muhammad, peace be upon him, would then straighten up his back from the bowing position while raising his hands and saying,
Sami'a Allahu liman hamidah.
Meaning, Allah listens to one who praises him. In the standing position, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would then say,
Rabbana walakal hamd.
Meaning, O Lord, and to you be all praise. Sajda, prostration. Muhammad, peace be upon him, would then say the takbir and go down in prostration.
Allahu Akbar.
During prostration, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would prostrate on 7 parts of his body: his forehead and the tip of his nose, both hands level with the ears pointing towards the Qibla, with the arms away from his sides, both knees, both feet with the bottom of the toes pointing towards the Qibla, keeping the heels together. Supplication in the prostrating position. In prostration, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would say 3 times,
Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la.
Meaning, how perfect is my Lord, the Most High. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, The nearest a servant comes to his Lord is during prostration, so make supplication in this position. Rising from the prostration. The Prophet, peace be upon him, would then raise his head from the prostration while saying the takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Jalsa, the sitting position. In the sitting position, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would sit on his left thigh and foot, with his right foot upright, pointing his toes towards the Qibla. Supplication in the sitting position. In the sitting position, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would say,
رب اغفر لي رب اغفر لي
My Lord, forgive me, my Lord, forgive me. Muhammad, peace be upon him, would again say the takbir and prostrate a second time,
الله أكبر
meaning Allah is the greatest. In prostration, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would say 3 times,
سبحان ربي الأعلى سبحان ربي الأعلى سبحان ربي الأعلى
How perfect is my Lord, the most